that time of day. It is 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Thursday. You are watching, well, I don't think we ever gave a name to this show. This is the live stream coming to you from Penny Boys, talking about hot penny stocks with our viewers. Appreciate you all being here. Appreciate you being here, Taylor.
Hey,
I always assume you're behind that screen.
I'm here.
Someday we're going to have a special
Someday.
event and we'll announce it before it happens so you
Yeah.
won't miss it. So we've got a few people here today. We're starting slow, but hey, the market is slow, folks. And what I mean by that is the less volume you have, the less people you have. And the less people that's on the market, the less people I have watching my show. So count yourself blessed right now that we don't have a ton of people here. I can only look at 6 to 8 stocks in an hour. I mean, giving them fair viewing. So if we had a ton of people, I mean, literally, if I had 1,000 people, I'd be overwhelmed. So this is all good right now. I like the coziness we got going on here. So we got Chris McGinnis. He was first here with CHPT. We are going to be looking at that EV company. The underdog, Wilds. They got that Mundra band for the Apple iWatch. LT, I know who you are. You know, I
That's
know
me.
you're in
I was
there.
trying to get your attention.
Right. I didn't have the volume on, and I'm telling her it was her fault, and it was my fault. That happens a lot. Belmore. Yes, Niche. We're going to look at Niche. I knew them when they were protecting clothing with secret markings. Now they're doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Bets. Bets is changing, right? They're getting into Bitcoin. And Kashira comes in there. She's got MMEX. We haven't even taken a peek at that one yet, but I think we're going to have time for it. All right, let's jump on into this, folks. I think I've covered everything. Oh, one thing I do want to say here, if you do have a stock you want me to take a look at, if you particularly know of something hot going on with that stock, give us a heads up. Throw it in there with your ticker so that we're not missing it. Some things are hidden away. There's just one or two sentences somewhere, and you can help me out. By the way, if you missed my video yesterday, all 3 stocks took gains today. 2 of them were rocket stocks. 2 of them had well over 150% gains yesterday. And they had big news. AstraZeneca making a deal with the one company. And on November 6th, they are buying 16 million shares of the company stock at $5, the common stock. They are then going to put in $140 million into preferred B and preferred C shares. That's down the road. But that's November 6th. AstraZeneca has made a deal with CLLS, Selectus, and they're going to be working together, and they're getting $25 million right up front. So all 3 of those did pretty well yesterday. All right, let's jump on into this. I'm going to let you click me there so I don't get
Okay.
jumping in. Yeah,
There you go.
there we go. We're going to start. You'd think we had this down pat, wouldn't you?
It's
You know
down. We're good.
All right. I'm going to open this up by first mentioning that cannabis stocks started moving again today. I noticed that I look at my scanners and I started marking them. And it's like, wow, look how many we got in just this scanner screen right here. Now, I'm not saying they were ripping, but they were all starting to move together. And that's because this news came out. Schumer emphasizes moral responsibility of adding criminal justice provisions to marijuana banking bill as Republicans push for floor vote. So we're still waiting for someone to say something. The DEA, the Congress, somebody please say something. Now, I've been doing some research here, and I got to tell you, I didn't realize how complicated it really is. The cannabis, if it gets decriminalized, which is as close as we're going to get to legalized, like alcohol. Alcohol isn't legal. It's just decriminalized. We can use it under their criteria. If they decriminalize it across the country, there very well could be an over swamping of these big companies over the little ones. Like Walmart's coming in and killing all the mom and pop small businesses. You could have big cannabis companies from out of state come in, which is totally legal and fair in enterprising. But that's what they're worried about. And they're trying to make it equal justice for the mom, pa, and the big conglomerates so nobody gets a monopoly. So things are still being tossed around. But the whole point, keep your eye on marijuana. Things are stirring up again. And that's all we need is a little stir. We haven't had anything since the end of August, beginning of September. Everything ran for about 2 weeks. And then it cooled down real fast. So if it starts to run, give yourself about 2 weeks. If you don't hear anything else, get the heck out if it was running. All right, let's jump into that first stock. I do believe the first one came in was CHPT, was it not?
WLDS.
Was it? I thought CHPT was above it.
Either one. It doesn't matter.
Well, I do play the rule first come, first served. And if I'm not loyal to my own words, who's going to be? So we are looking at ChargePoint. CHPT finished the day at $2.88.5 with about 15% gains. She is a major exchange, penny stock, on the New York Stock Exchange. We don't get a lot of those. You're going to be able to trade it for free. You can trade it pre-market, aftermarket. If you're not there pre-market, aftermarket, but you know there's hot activity, put your orders in for it. Just remember to add extension to your orders. It's not a day trade, it's day plus extension or something like that. So, what is this company about? Well, they are into the charging business, helping vehicles get charged. Now, it's funny. Hundreds of thousands of places to charge. We do it all. 188 million charges delivered. I doubt most of you are old enough to remember McDonald's used to count how many burgers they were selling. And it was right up underneath their big M. 1 million burgers sold, 10 million burgers sold, 10 billion burgers. And then they just said, it's getting ridiculous now. So they just quit putting the numbers up there. Well, somebody has got that back. So you see what they're doing here. And I don't know how big their business is, but obviously it's pretty big because from what I could see, they're making money. So what was the relative volume today? They're doing about 18 million a day. Not bad at that price, 16.5 million. Share structure for the company. We don't know what the float is. Outstanding share count. It's a high average of about 360 million. Market cap, 903 million, closing in on that $1 billion mark. Financials for CHPT. They've been growing nicely. I mean, it looks like they're virtually doubling every year. 2021, when we didn't have a lot of EVs out there to charge, they were doing $146 million. You got to add 3 zeros to any of these numbers. 2022, they're up to 241. 2023, $468 million. $500 million in their charging business. That's not bad. And we're just getting this EV stuff going. And they got to keep about 86 million of that. That's good. They're looking solid. Quarterly, 100, 125, 52. Oh, they are at 150 this last quarter. So something happened here. We don't have time to dive into it. Some more due diligence. I'm looking at the profit margins. Always look at the profit margins. It's nice and strong here, and it's getting real strong. And what the heck happened there? Dropped from 30 million to 1.1 million. Did they buy something? Did they get penalized? What happened? So that would be something to check into. Balance sheet, lots of money in the bank, over $250 million in cash. They have 202 million that is owed to them. Inventory of 143 million. They got a lot here. Add that all up, they've got over $1 billion in assets. It's a strong company. Total liabilities, about $750 million. Come down here and play with these extra numbers. When you add up the liabilities and stockholders' equity, what they end up with is just about $1 billion shareholder equity. That's good. That's what's for us, and it's positive. So that's looking good there. Let's see what we have in Catalyst here. See if I have pulled up some things. All right, first thing that caught my attention, and I haven't been able to, this may be really old, but there was a Form 4 filed. This is whenever the insiders acquire or dispose of shares of the company's stock. And we're always interested when they buy them or sell them. We hope that something's happening, or we get a forewarning that something bad's going on. Well, here, there was 43,000 shares acquired. That's the A and it's green, but it wasn't a purchase. We don't see a P here. And they normally tell you the reason right down here. Well, this reason is what caught my attention. The stock option was received in exchange for an option to purchase shares of common stock of the company in connection with the merger pursuant to the terms of the certain business combination agreement and plan of reorganization dated September 23, 2020. The stock option vested 48 equal monthly installments up until 2023. Now that I'm reading it further, I'm getting a bigger picture here. So obviously they made a deal back in 2020 and every 48 months. It looks like this. They get something that rolls over. So that's what that's all about. The other stuff is the news. Now, I am looking here at October's news. I haven't gone any further back than October. ChargePoint raises $232 million to support path to profitability. Well, that's good. Not only are they raising money, they got money in the bank. I mean, so they got money everywhere. This company's not in any problems. ChargePoint ramps up production of Tesla compatible NACS EV chargers. There's been a lot of this going on. They've been trying to get a universal plug-in for cars. Let's not start this different battery for every single phone, every single computer. Let's get one universal thing so that we can all use it. And they're thinking Tesla is probably the best one since that's already out there. It's already the biggest one being used. Let's just go that direction. So there's a lot of swing in there, and they've got some of the business. ChargePoint accelerates fleet electrification with new suite of management applications. And ChargePoint named top EV charger networking company by Guidance House Insights. So they're getting recognition for doing good work here. I don't think there was anything else we needed to look at there. Did I miss anything? Don't hear a shout out there, so I think we're good.
No, no, I'm just looking at this chart because
Yeah.
it's kind of
Well,
interesting.
it'd be nice if the people had a button so that they go ding, 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 ding. At least, what? Did I miss something? All right, let's take a look at that chart then.
Okay. Okay, so this is it. This is now I'm using regular candles. Okay, so
Okay.
don't come at me. So this is regular candles on the 4-hour chart. Okay. So starting off that we're looking back at the end of May, 1st of June up here. So you kind of have like this almost like a triple top or, lower highs here, and then we go straight down. This area right here is pretty important. I saw that it tested it a couple of times. Um, but then right
Right.
after that, and this was their last earnings report. This was in September. They did not report very good earnings. Okay. Not
Really?
good. So after that happened, it completely fell. So I'll blow this up and show you what happened. Oh, sorry. Okay, so their earnings was here, and a couple days later, they basically plummeted. So we're looking at around 7.25, give or take, down to around the $5, 5.50, 5.75 area.
Wow. About
Yeah,
50%.
right. So here we are, way down here. We had a low, all-time low of $2.38, 39, 40 cents, give or take. Now we're at 2.88. So as you can see, it's kind of looking like it's turning up.
Yeah,
And
that
one
would be a
thing,
chart I would show off. It's stuck. It's if it had pulled back, quickly, it's on top of the 50, is it not?
yes, it is now.
Yeah.
I was going to point that out because we bumped our head right here on
Yeah,
that, and then
that's
now
the
we're kind of over
difference.
it. hmm So I kind of see some signs of life here. I mean, we did get some increase in volume today. Not not as much as over here, but
It
still
should be
pretty good.
breaking out on the 1 hour chart over the 200, shouldn't it?
Say, yep, right at it. Right at it.
Oh,
Look at
now
that.
now I'm salivating. That's looking nice, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think it looks nice anyway. I like it quite a bit.
Oh, I like this. Yeah, that is looking good.
Yeah, I also like that we have another earnings report coming up December 1st. So that's less
Yeah.
than a month away. So keep an eye on that because if what you've been saying, they've been, acquiring all this stuff and, making big changes, they might have some good forward guidance coming up at this next earnings report in less than a month. So keep this on your watch list because we do have this big green candle on the daily chart. You can see that pretty clearly. And post market, we're up here. So we went from 273 at close up to about 290 after hours. So we're still moving after hours. So I'd keep this on a watch list for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
in my personal opinion, the EV market is growing, growing, growing. I'm expecting that their revenues are growing. Again, there was that last quarterly report, which you could see why it fell. Look at the profit margin. It went from 30 million down to 1.3. Well, of course, people were peed off about that. But if they come back this time with a normal 28 million profit, man, if you could get in at this price, which is 1/3 of the price it originally was before all this bad stuff started happening,
hmm
you could catch a nice ride. I'm not saying pour the mortgage into it, but a small position at a small price could get you a nice gain.
Yep. Okay. That
Okay.
does it for me here.
All righty. Let's see. We'll move on to the next one then. This one belongs to the underdog. Again, you're not old enough to remember. There's no need to fear. Underdog is here. It was a cartoon when I was young. I'm sure it's on some streaming show. I guarantee it. So we are looking at Wilds, wearable devices. They've had a lot of news here lately. They got a contract with Apple and the new Apple Watch that came out. They got the contract to make the band, the Mudra band. Mudra. I don't like the name, whatever it is, but it's a very fancy band. As a matter of fact, this is what you're talking about. The watch snaps into it, but the band itself has all of these sensors so that it can do all the stuff it does. But it does a lot more. It has voice command. It has hand gestures. You do certain things and it makes it do certain things. And they keep adding new voice and new hand gestures that can be done to it. It's an expandable piece of technology. Now, the watch is the technology, but this too, this band, this is what is reading the hand gestures. This is what's listening to the voice. So that's what they have got. And they've been doing very, very well with this. So what was the relative volume around the company today? Well, that's a nice jump, going from 79,000 shares a day to just under a million. Not now, this has bounced from what I remember. I've posted news off and on, because I think they've already shipped one batch. They've sent a second batch, and everything is really going well with these. And everybody's going to want an Apple Watch. And I don't think there's any other bands that work with it. I think this is the only band. So call it a monopoly if you want. But if this company's selling the only band that's going to the Apple Watch, how many people want that watch? How many bands is this company going to sell? One for every watch, at least. What is the share structure in this company? Oh, we got a nice share count. Outstanding share count is only 15 million. Your float's never higher than the outstanding share count, normally less. So it is going to be a decent float. Anything under 10 million is a nice float. Financials for the company. This doesn't represent what I see in my mind. At the end of 2022, they did $45,000. Jumping into those quarterlies, nothing. We got anything semi-annual? Nothing. Balance sheet, no, that's a semi. All right. So they've got money in the bank. They've got 10.3 million. Virtually no inventory. What's up with that? I'm talking about them selling millions, maybe a billion, I don't know, of these watch bands, and they've got only 6,000 in reserve. I'm just thinking out loud here. Total assets, 11 million. Total liabilities, that's virtually nothing. That's 1.2 million. It's about 1/10 of what they got. So our stockholder equity, it's up there at 11 million. Now, I'm expecting some serious growth out of this company, as it sounds, right? If the Apple Watch is hot, this company's product should be hot. Now, I don't know that the company has other products. I'm presuming that they do. Let me see what we got over here. I've pulled some things up. All right. Like I said, this company has lots of news. Everything here, this is all their news. And I've only gone back to August. Well, that's as far as they'll let me go. You go over to other sites, they'll give you the news all the way back. So back here in August, the company did complete their first manufacturing batch of the Mudra band for the Apple Watch. Apple Watch users received the first wearable devices. That was at the beginning of September. In September, just a week later, the band enables full touchless control of the Apple product ecosystem. And they enhanced the Apple Watch 9 series to double tap feature. Can just keep making this better. Wearable devices entered a memorandum of understanding with leading XR smart glasses original equipment manufacturer for its Mundra licensing program. So you've got an offshoot here. They're going to be able to use this technology with a whole nother product. That's good money. We got a bunch more here. Wearable devices expands Mudra's licensing program to include defense and military applications. Now we're talking big bucks, not to mention long-term contracts, especially when you can do things just with hand gesture. That's silent. You don't have to talk or anything. That's definitely something the military likes. Company unveils new gesture and voice controlled interface for the band and successfully delivers their second production batch of their Mudra bands. That was just today. That news just came out today. So if the stock was moving today, that's probably why. She finished at 61 cents, about 5% gains. She's on the NASDAQ. You can trade it for free, trade it pre-market, aftermarket.
Was there anything around May 24th or 25th that happened?
May 24th, 25th. This don't go back that far, but my disclosures will. It seems to me I thought I saw something. We have something I think this is a foreign company. I think that's a 20F financial. Yeah, there's their financial. That came out 2 days before. Oops, where'd you go? Which one were we looking at? Yeah, Mudra. Where'd you go? All right, we were looking at disclosures, wherever those went. They had financials that came out. They must have been pretty depressive. Those were 2 days before. That was as close as you got. We have a 6K, which probably relates to that too. Yeah, announces financials. So, and again, let me see here. Yeah, the financials, God, I haven't jumped into the most recent one to see if there's anything there to give us some hints of what's going on. Maybe that was the last. Well, let me see if that news goes back to the 8th, the August. We haven't even seen that yet. It's going to be the next financial that comes out that's going to show any of those revenues. So whenever the next financial comes out, we're going to see part of those revenues, and the financial after that is going to show full-fledged, just rolling Apple revenues. That bloody Apple. All right, let's take a look at this WLDS.
Okay.
I like the technology, the hand gestures, and all this other stuff with voice activation. I mean, that can be used on any sort of technology that we're expanding to right now. So I think this company's just getting started in what they're going to be able to do.
Okay, so this is why I was asking. So this is the daily chart. All right. So this was around the end of May. We were right here around kind of where we were the other
50
day.
cents.
45, 50 cents. And then we kind of gapped up. That's why I put this line here because it's right over the top of this candle. I'm not sure if you can see that. Because now we formed this gap. Okay. So we gapped up and just, you know, exploded all the way up to 256 from 45 cents. So that's
500% gain.
yeah. So after that happened, we
Obviously,
have
the
just
financials must have been good then.
something happened. Well, it's weird as we have these earnings reports here, but nothing came out. So I don't know. There must have been something here that's not showing up.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is the daily. Let me look at the 4 hour real quick.
Oh, it's come right back home, hasn't it?
Yep, it did. So that's actually a good thing though. It did fill
Right.
this gap. So because that gap, so it's pretty evident here. Um so this gap from here to here has now been filled. See how
Oh,
all
right.
these are filling it? So
Yep.
since we did fill this gap, that's good cuz now we can just move on. See like
Right.
this gap gapped up and then we filled it and then well we continue to go
Now, if
down,
you're
but
using your Heiken Ashi bars, folks, you won't see any gaps. She's using
right,
her regular bars, which will show those pre-market, aftermarket
right.
movements. Wham!
Exactly.
You
Like
open
this
up and
right
go,
here.
where'd all that go? Use the
Yeah,
Heiken
like
Ashi, you'll see it.
yeah, yeah, if you switch to regular candles, you can see those gaps, and they're really important.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I always keep an eye on the gaps. So if we go back to Haikanashi, you can kind of see it's not perfect, but we kind of have this falling wedge. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
There's a falling wedge here. So that's actually a bullish pattern. So it's not exactly perfect, but we do have this falling wedge or this falling channel, and what we need to do is just break out of it if we want to reverse and come back up to maybe this level, but in order to do that we're going to have a catalyst or some volume in my opinion for something like this.
Yeah.
So there must have been
What,
something that came in today
what's the
because we're
shorter
going back
time
up.
span looking like? Say the 1 hour.
Yeah. Okay, so 1 hour we look like this.
Okay, so she is showing that she is wanting to do something, and it looks like our 200 is just trying to level out. It
Hmm.
needs a spike. It needs a higher price to help
Yeah.
pull that SMA up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, these are coming up, these smaller ones, the 9, 21, and 50
Yeah.
here. These are coming up. We have what, several golden crosses here. One, two, three. So that's good. So we just need to, we did test this here. So that is good, the 200. So yeah, let's get above that and see if we can reverse this thing. It's
Definitely watch
showing
this
signs of
worthy.
life. Yeah, keep an eye on this one.
I mean, they're dealing with Apple. You know they've got a hot product. I don't see anyone else selling this band. That sounds like strong business there. The chart is setting up and it's at the floor where it's been before. It seems to be
Hmm.
its home landing. So if you were looking for a floor, I think Taylor found it there for you. I
Pretty much. Yeah, and it
I
filled that
like it.
gap, so that's even better. So you don't
I
have to
like
worry
it.
about that anymore. I do too.
Yeah, I'll give this 4 out of 5 stars. We'll start a new rating here. All right, let's jump into that next one. Try not to waste any time. What do we got next here? Was it Niche?
Yep.
Nich?
What I
Yes,
got.
this comes from Belmore, I believe. Now, I looked at Niche a long time ago, and I mean, I looked at it. I do believe I did a video on this. And when I looked at it, they were doing, they were creating clothing lines for celebrities, for influencers, these specialty lines, very small batches. Then they started doing these ways to protect counterfeiting of clothing. They first had this tag that you used your phone to scan and would attach to a website that could verify if what you were holding was legitimate. Then they started coming up with, I believe it was the secret stitch, this pattern that would be so small in the pattern itself of the clothing, and you could actually see it and know that this was legitimate. So that's what I remember them as. But since then, I've seen metaverse, NFTs. I mean, a lot of blockchain stuff, Web3 that they've been talking about. So let's see if we can get some information about this company. The best place to do that would probably be in a piece of news. Jumping down there. Oh, Niches is a forward thinking company that specializes in textiles. Oh, that's right. And liquor industries. They've just gone into Tover whiskey. They've branched out. They haven't given up the clothing line, still working on that, but they are now working with Tover whiskey. The company is committed to delivering top tier products and services with strong focus on stadium staff, manufacturing, and empowering sports team stadium experiences. That's been some news I've posted a couple of times. Different events, the entire staff needs a uniform. This company makes the uniforms for it. Just covers everybody up. So, what was the relative volume for the company today? Yeah, she's close to her average, about 20 million, and her price is really low. We are just under 001, my favorite buy price. We're at 0009. She had 50% gains today, so she jumped 0003. She's on the pink tier. She's current. That's important. She's got both those green ticks I tell you to look for, especially with the pink. Pinks have no validated information, not even their numbers with the disclosures, their financials. This is the only validated information you get, and it's validated by an unbiased third party, so you can trust it. So, anytime you see this, you're a little bit ahead on your pinks. So, that's all looking good here. What do we got for share structure? Open up, please. About a half a billion outstanding shares. Wow. The insiders got about 225 million. We get the rest, about 307 million. Not a low float by any means, but we've seen worse. Niches, financials. Now, this is confusing. I look over here and it's like, well, okay, I know you've been making clothing for staffing operations and for certain influencers and celebrities. I thought that you were selling your labels. And we're going to see some information about their NFTs and stuff. Where's the money? I mean, this is May of 2023. Where's the money? I just don't see it here. So I talked about this a long time ago. I thought they were going to be making money then. That's a little concerning. Taking a look at that balance sheet, we got 71,000 in the bank, 217,000 in assets, 34,000 in liabilities. Haven't had a lot of growth, any movement in the last year. But we're not negative. We've got 217,000 shareholder equity. Now, I don't know, but in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, so if that's shareholder equity, if I take that number and I divide it by that number, shouldn't that give me close to what the price should be? Shareholder equity, how many shares you got? I'm thinking, my God, I think the number would be smaller than that. Let's see what we've got over here for news. This is where we get a lot of this stuff. So, I mean, they've got lots of news here. There is no shortage of news. I am all the way back here to 2021. I was trying to find if this was the company that did the special labelings and counterfeiting because I didn't see anything about it recently. Yes, it was. Game changing verification technology to protect clothing from counterfeiting, improve authenticity. That was back January of 2022. That's what I'm remembering. So then you got all sorts of stuff here talking about niches accepting cryptocurrency, um, to head creative NFT and metaverse initiatives. Now you got to remember, we were going through that metaverse hot stage there for a while in 2022. Then came other serious situations, and the metaverse just kind of went to the back burner. Nobody cared about the metaverse. So they've got all that going on. Now let's zoom up here to the current stuff. April of this year, Niches announces Tover, the next big thing in the spirits industry. Here in May, Niches announces pivotal collaboration with ALSD and expansion into premium sports sector. Not quite sure what that is. Niches unveils bottle design selection for Tover Republic whiskey and confirms production deposits. Sounds like people are waiting to get this on their shelves. And the most recent piece of news, and I do mean the most recent that I see here, goes up to June. That's as close as we get. Niches to provide exclusive premium executive staff clothing for the Oz conference in Indianapolis. So they got another job they're taking care of. Where's the money? Was there anything else we needed here? I don't think there was anything else. Let's check those disclosures. We've got a financial. They're not even giving us anything but financials over here. So that's really all the information you have. There's a ton of news there if you want to dive in and out. But at one point, you're going to ask yourself, just like I am, where's the money? If you're doing this, and this, where's the revenues? With that in mind, let's take a look at the chart for NICH.
Okay. So, um, we've got a lot of 000 action going on down here. So this bottom here is triple
That's
zero
the number.
five, and this right here, this line right here is 001. Okay, so that's 100% move from here to here.
Right? It is.
So that's pretty cool. However, the chart as a whole, that's the 4 hours. So like here's the daily. It has just been,
Whoa.
yeah. I mean, we
But
were
you
up
know, it looks
here
like
around a penny.
98% of the charts we look at. That's what we're
Yeah.
seeing.
Uh-huh.
You
I
can't
mean, up
blame the
here
companies if
is,
everybody's doing it.
yeah, up here is around a penny. So this right here, I'm marking as a penny. That's how far away we are from a penny. So,
That's 1,000% run.
yeah. So let's.
It looks big that way.
It
It's
does. It
really
does look
small.
big. But lately, I mean, there's been a ton of volume lately, so that's promising. But
Yeah,
it
but most
really
of
isn't
that
moving.
volume looks negative.
It does. But any increase that might be telling us something. Something
True,
might be brewing.
volatility. Right, volatility. You got to wake up the alligator if you want it to move.
Right, right. That's what I'm saying. Something is going on, maybe. I don't know. But it's just kind of, it's kind of in this area now after all that. Hmm,
What's that thing down at the bottom of your volume? What just happened here recently? The event,
what?
the purple
This?
box.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is upcoming, or it didn't occur. It was supposed to be November 1st was their earnings report. Either they didn't announce it or it's not here on TradingView for me to see. Like the
Oh,
results aren't here. Kind of like these gray boxes, they were either supposed to announce. I'm not sure what happens when it's grayed out like this. It just doesn't report anything. It's not showing anything.
okay.
So,
I'm checking
uh,
their filings. They never filed the 10Q, uh,
yeah,
the
none of
NT
these boxes.
10Q. Yeah, they're not late. They haven't filed it yet. So I
Yeah,
guess it
none
was
of them are red or
canceled.
green. They're just
So it's probably
nothing's
due
been
here any
announced.
day.
Yeah, it was supposed to be coming up on November 1st, which was yesterday, but it did not happen, or
All
the
right,
results
so
are
that's
not
going to
here.
answer my question.
Hmm.
Where's the revenues?
We don't know.
Yeah. So what are you on there? Daily. So what's
Yep.
our hourly chart look like on this?
Right.
Oh, well, there we go. She is warming up, but that 200 is still falling. There's no
Yep.
leveling anywhere.
No, here. I got a touch here. Little up here.
Right. A lot of false alarms.
A lot. Yeah. This might be another one of these, and then we come right back down.
The difference here, though, is if we have a financial coming out
Yeah.
any day now, this is in a perfect position. If those financials prove
If
to
it
be
does.
worthy, it
If
could
it,
take off.
yeah. Yeah, and also at those earnings reports, I'm not sure about some of these other companies, but usually they will talk about their forward guidance and talk about their future, what's going on with their,
You
company,
don't
who's
get a
running the
whole
company,
lot of that
things
with
like
these
that.
cheap
You
penny
don't
stocks.
you don't get a whole lot of that? Okay. Well,
No.
well, some the other there was another chart that we looked at not too long ago that
If you're on
ran
the QB or the QX, they're willing to talk to us. The pinks,
oh,
they don't
okay.
want to
Okay.
put their foot in their mouth. So they
It
don't
must have
care.
been one that was on the Nasdaq or something, but anyway, there is a catalyst coming up, so
Yep.
that's gonna possibly move it. It's supposed to be yesterday, so it could be any day now, like you said. So yeah, just keep an eye on this and see if we can get some news and some movement.
You're
Awesome.
ready for me, aren't you?
That's about it. Yep, about
Yeah,
ready.
okay. I was trying to get MMEX in there while we are set up already for bets. Bets, Bit Brother. I keep wanting to say Big Brother, Bit Brother Limited, bets. First, I thought it was a gambling company, and I saw the post, and he mentioned Bitcoin. And I'm over here looking around going, well, okay. I see you had a ticker change here recently, just in September. The problem was whenever there's a ticker change, the chart starts that day with that new ticker. Well, I went to look at the chart just to see what was up with it. It just kept going. I mean, I went 3 years back. Bets has been on the market for 3 years. I don't know what this change of ticker is, but it's been on the market. So I would have to look at the day if it made a big difference here. Um, so, what did I find out? I was rummaging around trying to get information because they really don't say a lot here, but they tell us here the company is transforming its business from the sales of tea products and beverages and light meals and retail shop chains to the formation of blockchain ecosystems and the generation of digital assets. Digital asset mining revenue was first generated by the company January of this year. The company's strategy is to produce and hold Bitcoin. They're going to go mining. I don't know why they're not saying that as long term investment. It's the only way I know how to create Bitcoin. So they're going to be mining for it. I had something else here. This is their website. This just came up. Infinite blockchain makes future simpler. And they've got stuff here about things that they're going to do, fintech stuff, financial assets, mining. So they have a site up already if you want to get into what they're doing. So, what was the relative volume around the company today? I don't want to lose that page. We'll keep that one. There we go. Relative volume, boom. That's an explosion. That's 8 times the normal volume, roughly. 8.4 million shares, jumping to 64 million shares. Now, you got to keep in mind, Bitcoin is rising. Bitcoin is, it just had a surge a little while ago. I guess it's taken a dip. I don't follow it, but I do catch breezes, every now and then. And I guess it's gone between 30 and 34, but it's coming back up and people still have a lot of belief in it and it isn't going anywhere long term. And as the world gets more and more into Web3, Bitcoin gets more and more respect. As a matter of fact, it is about 75 days from now the spot EFT is going on to the stock market for Bitcoin. So you can invest in Bitcoin on its price, and the EFT will move based on the price of Bitcoin. And you'll be able to actually invest in Bitcoin without investing in Bitcoin on the stock market. That's going to be in about 75 days. So, as I'm saying, it's getting more respect. So, companies like this are going to be recognized. Plus, whatever they mine today may be worth 30,000. Next year could be worth 75,000. All these company mining Bitcoins, they're storing them up. That's their revenue. That's where they make most of their money. They're not selling anything to anybody. They're just gold mining for Bitcoin. And as it goes up in value, the value of that company goes up. Now, what we're most interested in is how are you doing this Bitcoin mining? You doing it ecologically? Are you being friendly and green? What sort of power and energy are you using? So you've got to check all that stuff out, and we don't have time to do that. So that is worth due diligence. Share structure for this company: 210 million outstanding. Float could be that high, though it's normally lower. We're praying it's a lot lower. Financials for the company. Oh, darn it. All right, their financials went up. They were making money when they weren't making any money. And now, when they're making money, they're not making any money. They made $2.8 million as of June 2023, and they lost 2.7 million. I mean, they fell 5.6. So they lost twice as much as they earned. You don't stay in business like that. But if they're setting up a Bitcoin mining operation, if they're buying these operations, these machines, there's a big outlay for that. So that could all be part of this right now. Looking at the quarterly, we don't get anything there. What do we got? Cash in the bank, 5.3 million. You've got a total of 32 million in assets, only 2.8 million in liabilities, and already from the get-go, we are at 32 million in stockholder equity. So we got anything here I can share with you? We already looked at that. Da-da-da-da. The news. All right, ticker change. Big brother. Bit brother. New York saved 200,000 in electricity cost through the hedged electricity price power supply agreement. All right, they're saving money. I'm glad to hear that, but I still want to know, are you green? And the reason this is important, folks, is they use a lot of energy. They're hogs for it. It takes a lot of energy because these computers, believe it or not, are just doing mathematical problems. I cannot imagine there are that many mathematical problems we haven't got answers to. And we've got all the answers now. Every Bitcoin was an answer. Well, what are we doing with all of those answers? That's my question. We paid for the answer, right? I mean, you got to pay for all that electricity. So some are using hydro, some are using diesel, some are using solar. I'd like to know how they're doing it. And then Big Brother Limited announced pricing of $5 million registered direct offering. Boo, boo. I don't know how many shares that is. Maybe they tell us in here. Class Bs, they got mixed shelf here. They got some Class A, some 14 million. 14 million Class A shares. And what did we have? We've already got 210. So you're looking at about 5%. Now, if I remember correctly, when I was glancing at the chart, I think she took a big fall on this. I think this was bad news. And from what I'm seeing, it's only 5% more shares for the common shares, which means the price should have fallen 5%. Looks like it fell harder when I saw it. Looked like it was dropping hard. Let me see if we got any disclosures over here. We do have a 6K. I like 6Ks. They're a lot like your 8Ks. You never know what you're going to find in them. Easter eggs. They've got some sort of, this is about what we were just talking about, shares being put on the market. And this one is normally about financials. Yeah. So I don't see anything here recent. And there's another type of financial, I do believe, a 20F. Yep, another type of financial. So they got a lot of information here to dive into. A new website. They've got lots of new filings here. They're getting into Bitcoin. They're saving money. How are they doing it? So with all those questions still up in the air, we've got bets taken off into Bitcoin mining, which is probably going to be hot. Let's look at that chart there, Taylor.
Okay, are you sure? Are you sure you want to see this?
Oh, yeah. Now you got me tempted. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh no, no, that's not it. So this is the daily chart. We're down here at around 4.5 cents.
Yeah.
This is after a nosedive from 45 cents.
Is that a gap?
Yes, it's a huge gap from 45 cents to down to about 18 cents.
But really, she's down 1,000%.
Yeah, that is
I mean,
a
it'll take
lot.
1,000% to get back
It took
up.
1,000% to come back. Well, that's
Oh
not
my
even the
God, it gets
craziest.
worse.
Oh, just wait. Here we go. This was all the way up at $12.
How long ago is that?
January.
1 year. Well, 9 months, 10 months.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, so this looks very weird. So I'll turn these back on. Um, Yeah, and so there was a stock split. There was another one back here too. So this was after the split. So all this was after the split. So it was trading at $12. Um,
See, a
but
lot of volume right now. That's a big
yeah,
difference.
it's a lot of volume, but look what happened to it.
And when did that? Oh, that was the right. That is the $5 million worth of shares that they are putting on the market. Now,
Yeah, it
how far
started
did that
last
drop? That dropped from about 50 cents down to a nickel, roughly,
yeah, 45 cents to 4.5 cents. Yep.
like 95%.
Yes. Yeah.
For a 5% addition of shares. That's what we call
That
over
is
the top,
wild.
OTT. This is now I don't much like it down here with these cheap penny stocks, but that is a value bargain. When it drops so far below what it was at, you expect it to come up at least 50%. I mean, it's 95% overkill, 90%. So you expect
Yeah.
some return. But the chart looks sad, and I don't know if I want to take that chance. I don't know if I want. I mean, granted, it's cheap, but 4 cents isn't that cheap. There's a lot of other stocks you can get for 4 cents that have better things going on with them.
Yeah, it looks very sad. This is the 1 hour chart. I mean, this is just look at this red bar. This
It's
is
so sad.
look at this scary red bar. And then this has been happening for the last week. Just this is
Yeah, and
very
that's
sad.
all over the public offering. So that shows you
Yeah.
the investor sentiment, which could change like that. It could pop right back to 50 cents and then just stay there. So I'm not telling you that this isn't an opportunity. It could be just a $100 bill sitting right here. If it goes back to 50 cents, that's a 500% increase. You just made $500 on your $100 bill and you didn't really risk a lot. I mean, what's the low on this thing? Is she at her bottom right now?
The bottom was about 4 cents,
Right.
4.042.
Now
So
she
it's
could go
very
lower. She's been falling forever. So we
yeah.
don't know if this is a bottom. But it looks
That
like
was
she's
the
been
latest
there a
one.
couple times.
Yeah. I've been looking. I mean, we've had a couple of stock splits. This is man, it's just crazy. This is the 1 hour, and it's just
So what's the let's look at the 2 hour.
okay.
See what sort of act doesn't look a whole lot different.
No, I
All
mean,
right.
it fell so much. It fell so much that this is going to take a lot to recover from. I don't think
Yeah,
you understand. This is a lot.
and what I would be looking for now, go just so we could see what's the 4 hour chart look like to the
This
200.
this is the 4 hour chart. This is the
Okay.
200 at 50 cents.
Right. I can see the 200 is already leveled off
Hmm.
and the price did not make opportunity of that leveling. That is an open door to jump on, get solid footing and go. It is ignoring it. So to me, if it's not interested at first opportunity, it's not interested. It's going to need
Yeah.
some provoking. And I don't want to sit around trying to provoke the stock. So just based on the chart, I would go buy this and come look at it in a week or two.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all I got for that.
All right. I do not have the next one lined up, but I do have it in a box here. This is MMEX. This comes from, I haven't got it up. It was the next one in line, so I'm being fair. We
I
got
got it.
another trip. Oh my God. This one's at 00015. You and I cannot bid that. You will have to bid two. This is only marketers and brokers behind the scenes. They can bid at a half. Why won't they push it up? Because they can make a profit. As soon as you buy it at two, he's made a little bit of profit there. When he buys a million shares or 10 million shares, he's made a lot of profit. So he has a hedge and an edge trading here. So the price is very, very low. It fell today 25%, which means it was at two before it fell. She's pink current. She's got a transfer agent verified. Thank God for that. But she doesn't have a verified profile. Let's see. Relative volume today. Oh, she dropped about 4/5, going from 62 million down to 12 million. Share structure for MMEX. Oh my God. 25 billion authorized. They could put all those on the market if they wanted to make a killing. They have 7.5 billion on the market. Good news is The insiders got 4 billion of those. And us, we got 3.5 billion. So their 4 billion doesn't make our 3.5 any easier. That is a ton in the float, which is screaming reverse split. That is just screaming reverse split. At some point, when they get to a decent price or they've got some great catalyst and a stock is surging, watch and see if they don't do it right then and there when everybody's looking at them and they're starting to take gains. That's when they'll make their move. We've been seeing that very often here. What else we got? Well, let's see what we can find for information on this company. We still don't know what this company does. Hopefully, we got some new. No, that is 2018. So I am going to get nothing here. Now, we'll try disclosures first. All right, we do have a recent disclosure here. I don't know if it's going to give us any information about the company. Matters of transferring common stock, a transshare. That may do with their transfer agent. Another 8K. That's a little over a month old. Lawsuit. The company was served notice that Savvy had filed a lawsuit in New York Supreme Court alleging breach of contract. They're trying to get some shares back, some warrants back. It looks like I see this happen often with really cheap stocks. Oops, my bad. That's not where I want to be. Still haven't found any sort of catalyst. We got no news. So what I can do, I'm going to have to jump over here real quick. You can't see me do this, but I'm doing it anyways. I'm going to grab this website up, bring this back here. This is my backup for whenever I can't find news here. You never know if there's news going years back. And this site here brings up news pretty easily. It's a Canadian site, but it brings up American news. Now I got to get the ticker MMEX. This is insidertracking.com. I really like this site. It's not perfect. No site is. So, January 2nd, that's as far as we get, but I think that was more news we had over there. MMEX. At least we'll get a description of the company here if it loads. So, what do we got? MMEX Resources, a development stage company formed to engage in energy industry infrastructure projects, leveraging its management and business relationships from the traditional energy sector. Currently, they are engaged in developing planned projects to produce hydrogen and ultra clean fuel products combined with CO2 capture by independent third parties. The company is also engaged in the development of solar power for distribution to its planned projects. So that's what you got going on with the company. Their most recent piece of news, which was 9 months ago, the company and Trans-Permian H2 Hub given green light to the U.S. Department of Energy and application stage for Green Regional Hydrogen Hub. That sounds like a pretty juicy piece of news there. I would dive into this to see what's going on. Hydrogen, to me, folks, is where we're ultimately going to end up. We need electricity. Hydrogen can make electricity. We're not talking about burning the hydrogen. We're talking about breaking the hydrogen down. And when you do that, you get air, water, clean air that you can breathe, water, which you can drink, and electricity, which we can use. Why the heck aren't we using hydrogen for everything? It just makes sense. And then the rest of the news is going back even further. But there is news here. This is probably where you'd have to do your due diligence. I think we covered everything else here except maybe the financials, which is very key. If it doesn't come up once, hit it again, and she's stubborn. There you go. You learn how to work these sites like a car. Just tap that monitor. We got nothing annually. We got nothing quarterly. A startup company, oh boy, nothing in the bank. They do have $1 million. That's right, $1 million in assets and 4 times that liability.
Oh my
And
goodness.
and who carries that? Well, not all of it's ours. Actually, I don't know how they do all of this, but I have learned that this is the line I need to pay attention to. There is liabilities, there is stockholder equity. You got to put the two together if you want to balance things out. Stockholder equity was actually low, but there was capital surplus here that gets added in after all this crazy math is done. It is up 1 million. Just by the skin of our teeth are we up on this company. And I think we covered everything else, right? So let's take a look at this chart, MMEX. I know it's way down on the floor right now.
Yeah, it is. I'm trying to scoot back to it because I just saw something crazy. I'll point it out in just a second.
I got
Okay.
you up.
Okay. Oh, so you see me scrolling around. Okay, so here we go. I've
Whoa.
marked, yeah. So we're kind of barcoding. This is just the most recent that we're on the daily chart. So back here is like March, April. Here we are now. So I've marked these off. This is quadruple 05, and then we got triple 01, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, even some of these went below that. I don't really know how that works,
Okay,
but
this is how that happens. When you have
yeah.
stocks on the market, they can be traded after market, not by me and you, but by the brokers and the marketers. And they will, I can't explain why, they'll bid it down. I think they bid it down to, as you said, 401. And
Mhm.
then they'll bid it up to 0001. It has to be there at open on the next market. You can't be below that. Well, that's
Gotcha.
1,000% gain for them
Yeah.
from triple zero, from quad four to triple one is 1,000% gain. And I have stocks personally I own that do that every single day. And it shows me having a gain of because it moved overnight. And it's like, I didn't get that gain. Quit showing me that gain. That is not my gain. Marketers got that. And that's without going off the market. They'll actually go under 0001 after market hours and then come back. Darn near
Yeah,
got a
so
cup and handle right there with that quad four dip.
yeah. So, well, yeah, yeah, we did kind of, but ever since probably the last 4 months, we've basically just been going between 0001 and 0002, with the exception of right here and then these two outliers. I mean,
What
this
was
is,
that happened underneath that? You got an E down on the
oh,
floor,
this is an earnings report, but there's no news. Like
and it
you can
jumped
click,
anyways.
yeah, you can click on this, and there's not really any.
Ah,
It
right.
doesn't tell you anything.
You've got
So
no financials. There's nothing to. I mean, you got to file just like taxes. Even if you don't make money, you got to file. It's like a
right.
sentence, you
So
know.
there's not a lot of info there. So if this is a gray box, then it's not going to tell you anything unless it's like red or green. That
And it
means they
ran
did.
anyways. Well, I wouldn't
Yeah,
call it running.
yeah, that means that something was reported, but something wasn't. Nothing was reported here. I mean, it says zero. There's nothing. It doesn't say anything.
This is
Um,
why I really don't ever talk about stocks under 0004 because that's what goes on for months. Just a
yeah,
pop one day, and it's just not worth your effort to sit around that long unless you're accumulating them slowly with extra money. After 2 years, you got
yeah,
10 million of these things, and one day it pops and you get rich. I got no
yeah,
problem with HODL, HODL. I got no problem with it if you can afford it.
yeah. This is 4 months worth. Whoops. This is 4 months worth of basically between point 0001 and 0002, with the exception of three outliers within 4 months time. So yeah. Uh, this isn't something I would personally be watching, but like you said, this could be an opportunity if you're holding them, a lot of them and accumulating them, if that's what you're into. Uh, that's about it for that.
All right, I know we are shy on time here, folks, but I'm going to try to do one more here for you real quick. We had lots of them come in here a little late, and I can only really get about 6 or 8 in an hour. I mean, you're talking 8 to 10 minutes, 5 minutes for me to talk about it, 5 minutes for the chart. So we give any less than that. It's not a speed reading charting. So let's take a look at Oh, we're going to go to the next one. We're going to cover Real Smith Studio LXEH. Did you give me the right one there? LX. Yeah, it was me. I'm dyslexic. LXEH. I'm not familiar with this at all. Too many letters there, folks. LXEH. It's an education company, Chinese most likely. 53.5 cents, 17.5% gains on the major exchange. Had more than double her volume today, jumped from 117 to 366,000 shares. Got a decent float. Well, I don't know what the float is, but the outstanding share count's only 13 million. Our float's under that. That's not bad at all. Financials for the company, steady growth, 1.9 to 3.9 to 5.4 to 7. And they're taking in profits. Things are looking good. Quarterly for them. No quarterlies. The NASDAQs don't like to give us quarterlies. Balance sheet. Money in the bank, 35.5 million. Total assets, 87.5. Total liabilities, 51. Looking good. That gives us 87 million positive shareholder equity. All right. We know this company's, well, we don't know. You presume the company's in education, but people keep their old names. They just don't change them. They get lazy sometimes. All right, we got no news here. While I'm thinking about it, we've already got our page up here. Sometimes this takes time to load, so I can just throw that in and, well, we'll stay here. See what we got for news then. May 9th is the most recent one. Education receives notice of failure to satisfy continued listing. They were on the NASDAQ. Are they still on the NASDAQ? They still are. So I'm presuming minimum bid price. That was the problem. What's the price right now? Um, they're still under. When did that news come out? Not that one, the other one. That came out May, June, July, August, September, October. Ooh, you get 6 months to fix this, folks. Now, we haven't dove into this. They may have a date here that we can just grab. It's pretty easy to scan for dates. Just look for that 2024, March, do. I don't see a deadline here. It's normally 6 months. It says right there, 6 months from the day they're notified. So May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Oh, hell. That's today. That's today, folks, November 2nd. Today was the last day that they had to get the price up over $1. They had to do it for 10 consecutive days, close. If they didn't, they've got one of two choices. Allow themselves to be delisted down to the OTC market, which they may be at tomorrow. Very well could be. Or they've got to do a reverse split. You could wake up with less shares tomorrow. Yes, you could. Those are the only two options on the table. So that's what's going on here. I don't think we have anything else to consider. Let's see if I covered everything here. Share structure, we did cover. Company didn't cover it. Disclosures, was there anything there? Let's see if this is a notice from the NASDAQ. Highlights this is their financials. It is in their money terms, but they normally break that down for you. 10-2. That's over a month ago. No, we don't have any new notice here. I would not be surprised if one came out today or tomorrow. So that's what I would be worried about if you're holding this stock. They're in bad water right now. All right, real quickly, let's take a look at that chart for MMEX. Oh, I lost my partner. Did she go away? She did. All right. Well, you know I can do this, folks. So just let me back up here and I will get my chart up for us. Let me do this. Haven't had my chart up here in a long time, have I? No. All right. And we will just share my entire screen. Watch your eyes, folks. I didn't mean to do this to you. So we're going to look at MMEX. I can see you can see me. I do have another computer up here. MMEX. Let's close all this up and get rid of our trade section. Let's open this up to the 4-hour section. See what we got going here. Boy, that's a big chart. I normally don't use all the chart. So we are definitely in a downtrend here. You can see she's coming from somewhere. She is falling. So it was a year ago. We were at about 3.8 cents. Had a drop down and it looks like she's been totally flat here, but it's just because of how high she was. Let's come on down to the hour. Let's back that up a little bit. 4-hour. And I will zoom in on that so we can see what's going on here. Get as close as you can right there. So there's not a lot of activity. She's been under the 200 all of this time, really underneath the 50. Hit a low here of, how do you hit a low of 0 cents? Came back up, thank God. And she's on the floor. That is the floor, folks. 0001. She's just been sitting down there for a very long time. And it doesn't matter what time chart you come into. She's at 0001, and it's going to look like a bar chart, barcode, a picket fence, whatever you want to call it. And we don't see any change here. Looking at our oscillators, they're just going sideways the hard way. Hey, welcome back. I think I heard a blip.
Yeah, sorry about that. My computer died.
It's okay. It was just another barcode, picket fence. It is
Okay, perfect.
MMEX. She has been going sideways for a really long
Oh,
time.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah, she's been on the floor, and we just discovered that she's been under $1. Today was her last day, November 2nd.
Oh,
If she didn't get up over $1 and she's at 50 cents, she's going to the OTC or doing a reverse split. Well, She probably got the shares. I don't remember if we even looked at the share count. Well, since we've got this up, I can take a real quick look for you. Did we? We've looked at so many, I can't remember. Oh, wait a minute. Nobody's here to tell me, right? Oh, my God, folks. My bad. My bad. LX. We looked at the wrong one, didn't we? I didn't have you here to tell me I was looking at the wrong
I
one.
can't even see. I just got back on.
There it is, folks. My apologies. We just got done looking at the one that she looked at. This is it is not coming up for me. What is that ticker I'm supposed to be looking at? It is supposed to be LXEH.
LXEH.
For LXEH. Get in there. That's a real chart. That is a 4-hour chart with a high of $3.53 over the 200. She fell all the way down here to a low of about 44 cents, which is where she was hugging for a long time. She bounced off of that. She did this back in May. She went from that 44 cents up to $2.60. So you got yourself, what, 650% gains. Came back down under the 200, had a blip there. Don't know why. Another blip up to the 200, but she's under the 200. Hit a low here of 20 cents. Did that at the end of September, beginning of October. And this is when she changed her game. Now, it really wasn't off the low bubble, but it was in that vicinity. She got what we call that directional intentional spike. She was underneath all these SMAs, went through the 50, went through the 200, pushed that spike up, then came back down higher than where she started. She's on the 50 now. As far as I'm concerned, this is a breakout detection mode. It says I'm looking for an opportunity. Now, I don't know what she's going to do after she does this. Sometimes she crouches and pounces. Sometimes she just starts climbing. There you go. Our indicator says I'm looking for an opportunity, and she just walked across it. No fighting. She didn't even look back, didn't tap it, just kept on going. And today, she took on some strong momentum. She started down here at 24 cents, and we're up right now at about 61 cents. Just about 250% gains. Oscillators are ripping. Every single one going to the moon. Looking at let's just come down to that 15-minute. What can you say? It's a perfect chart. Low bubble in that corner of 33, high bubble in that corner of 61, riding on her 50, elevating to the 20, pushing off to the 9-day elevator, and just riding. She's come back down to the 20 and bounced right back to her 9. This looks like a beautiful chart. You can see the volume was strong today. Our 200-day SMA is climbing, and all the SMAs are tight. They're all close to each other. Our oscillators at this very moment, because of the end of the day on the 5-minute chart, look a little cool. But honestly, this chart looks pretty good. So if you hung around through all my discharting on the wrong chart, we found ourselves a pretty decent chart. She doesn't look bad at all. Well, that is about it, folks. Let me get that out of the way. We missed you. It was a shock to come back and see you weren't here, Taylor.
Sorry about that.
Did she have an appointment at 5 o'clock and just had to
No,
leave?
my computer died. I started texting you on YouTube. I couldn't.
Nothing I can do if that happens.
I know. I was just letting everyone know. Sorry.
It made it fun. It made it interesting. I'm sure our viewers enjoyed it too. So 509. We didn't run too long. Folks, I see you had a lot of tickers over there for me. Real Smith Studio, QBTS, that took gains today. All the stocks I covered yesterday took gains. CLLS, QBTS, and AAIRF. All of those took gains yesterday. I really like QBTS, but that quantum computing, did that scare you? That little clip I put in there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did you see it?
I saw it.
Yeah, those parallel dimensions is just too much information. I didn't need to know that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I got back in and saw it.
DZCA. I don't remember if we covered this or not, but I know I just posted news on that. I think they have a merger going on right now. That's what's playing in the back of my mind. Sarah Gibson brought us Clove. Thank you, Sticky Man. I do appreciate you coming, buddy. Clove, very undervalued. We'll take a look at Clove. Folks, take a look at Clove. She's talking about it twice here. Charge point could be 5 times in a year. I believe that. I believe charge point could be. Electric vehicles is only growing. Well, I don't think we have 1/10 of the population using EVs yet. No. King Gerald, thanks for showing up. Roger Khan, oil about to go through the roof. All energy is falling. Wait for it, folks. Every time it falls, it comes back because we always need it. Energy never really goes out of style. Keishra, hit the like button, guys. You're darn right. Hit that like button. Oh, man, there's a lot of you guys here. Alan Games, did you cover Clove? Now you're making me feel guilty. You see all these. I'm going to have you go through all these and see if there's certain ones we need to pull out. Can't look at the chart. Sorry. Oh, there's LT screaming. Hi. Yeah, we didn't have any emergency button that I could hear. Folks, I sure appreciate you being here. Honestly, do. I wish I could get to all of your stocks. We should have a part two. Come back at 8 o'clock. Let's go have dinner. We'll do this again. I wouldn't mind. All right, folks, we're going to let you go. I enjoy having you here. I really do. And I enjoy having you back, Taylor. Thanks for
Yeah,
coming back.
no problem.
We'll see you next week, folks. Thursday, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Have fun between now and then. And do me a favor, make some money. See you, folks.
Bye.